you, hope you're well. Welcome to part 9 of my Finding Your Soul Purpose series. Use every spiritual and self-care practice you know to help you. One of the best things we can do for ourselves on this quest to find our soul's purpose is to take care of ourselves. Leaning into our spiritual practices, our self-care practices can ensure that we have the ability and the energy that we need to find our soul's purpose. Our practices can ensure that we are in peak mental, physical, emotional, spiritual condition to help make our path flow more smoothly. Doesn't have to be any specific practice. I am not even here to speak about the practices. The purpose of this is just to say, take care of yourself in the best way you know how, because each of us will have different practices that serve us best. So focus on those practices that make you feel or help you be in peak condition, and be conscious that your needs may change while on your quest to find your soul's purpose. Because if you are like I was almost polar opposite of my soul's purpose in my old life. I was in accounting and finance, and my soul's purpose is in writing and creating videos and speaking to people about spirituality and their soul purpose. So I had a long shift to go from the old life and the old version of me to this new one. And it took a long time, and there were a lot of changes. And it was my practices that made it more smooth for me, made it possible for me to create all these changes in my life. So when things get confusing or discombobulated or the changes get too much, use the practices that you use to calm and find inner peace, whether that is being in nature or meditating or energy work. I do a lot of energy hygiene. I have a video on that too. And if I remember, I'll link that in the video description. So whether it's crystals that help, I mean, you'll see I'm wearing crystals that represent, I've got a lot of things on that represent the throat chakra, the third eye, and the crown, because I set the intention to have my spirit team help me kind of channel this rather than just straight up read it from the script, because I'm not as good as that. I'm better at just kind of speaking it forward. So I'm using crystals. That is part of my energy work that I do to help me do my soul purpose work. And there have been times on my path where I received guidance that was about self-care. Again, my old work, I would just work so many hours in a week that I was neglecting myself. So much of my guidance comes in the form of take care of yourself. Like I get guidance to rest. I get guidance to kind of shut down. I get guidance to go out and exercise. I get a lot of guidance about self-care because that has been a very important kind of message or theme of my own spiritual awakening and my path to find my purpose. So use everything in your toolbox that you know. Meditation, it could be crystals, it could be prayer, affirmations, getting out in nature, physical exercise, energy hygiene work, whatever practices serve you on your path at the specific time or phase that you're in, do that. It will always serve you to be in your peak mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual condition. One of the intentions that I set during, I don't know, I guess it's while I'm taking care of myself, while I'm sitting on my cushion and while I'm doing my energy work and releasing the old energies. Also have a whole playlist about releasing energies. And if you've gone through the series, you've already seen that video here. But one of the intentions I set for me I'll share it with you in case you want to use it for you. I set the intention. I ask to be made a clean and clear vessel through which spirit can work. It was one of my favorite intentions, and I feel like it just clears out a lot of the noise and the junk, and it's really setting the intention, work through me. Work through me. Let me live my soul purpose. Let me live my divinity. One of my favorite intentions I set. So feel free to use that if it resonates with you. And speaking of resonates, if this is resonating with you now, show me some love back by liking, subscribing, sharing. Remember to set the notification bell because I'm rolling out these videos in a kind of a not really on a schedule. So set the notification bell so you don't miss a one. And as much as I've mentioned a lot of like spiritual care, it's just self-care will help. Whatever you consider self-care will also help because that again is getting us to that sort of peak mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual, you know, vibration so that it just kind of makes that process more smooth. We can receive better guidance. We're more clear and can move forward just a little bit more smoothly when we are taken care of. And yes, I'm saying this in the context of finding your soul purpose, but truthfully, it will serve your life in all the areas, whether it's work or family. When we're in peak condition, when we are well cared for, our life just runs more smoothly. So remember, use every spiritual practice you know, every self-care practice you know, everything that you can do in your power that will help you be that kind of high vibrational self, to help you move more smoothly through the changes that occur as we align with our soul purpose. The idea is to flow with the energies, to flow with the changes, to be ready for whatever comes. Quite frankly, it just feels good. I'm grateful you're here. I pray you find your soul purpose. I sincerely send that prayer out into the world that you find your soul's purpose because it is the most beautiful way to live, and I know that you will love it. I'm grateful you're here. I love you, beautiful soul. Be well.